everybody. Thank you for inviting me to this conference. I feel very honored to share my little story with you today. I want to tell you about the method which has basically transformed the way I look at dogs, I work with them, but also the way I look at myself as well as other people. It's all based on my experience, and I really hope that this story will inspire you. And besides that, the method I want to tell you about has basically helped me discover my life motto, which I decided to follow ever since, which is, be the change you wish to see in the world. It's very powerful, I'm telling you. So let's start from the beginning. So I'm from Poland, but I moved to Denmark around 5 years ago. And soon after, I started walking dogs. I started working as a dog walker. And because of that, I started getting to know different kind of dogs, different personalities. I started seeing how many, but I also started seeing, to see how many problems people have with their dogs. And one day, because I got more and more interested in the way the dogs think, the dogs behave, was their motivation. And one day I decided to become a dog behaviorist to be able to help these dogs and of course help their people as well. So I did one course, and it was like, it's not enough. There's still something missing, in everything I have learned so far. So I did another course. Then I went to some seminars, and I was getting the feeling that I know more and more. I knew more and more, but there was still there was still a missing point, the missing piece in my work, and yeah, I just didn't know what it was. But I decided that, one day I would find it. So very often I heard, and I still hear people who say to me, and these are, dog parents, I rather call them dog parents, not dog owners anymore, who tell me, Zuza, I feel so frustrated. I feel like I've tried everything, and nothing seems to work for my dog. This behavior, it got even worse after I tried to follow some advice on internet or the advice which my trainer had given me. And very often when I ask, these people, can you tell me what exactly did you try? They often say something like, I wanted to show my dog that what it is doing at this moment is wrong. So of course I punished it every time it did it. And I also tried to use shock collar. Again, it worked for a while, but Zuza, then it got worse again. I don't understand why. I also tried to show my dog that I'm the boss, so he understands that I'm leading this game. But then I didn't really feel that any of this worked. And I even felt that my dog lost trust in me, and our relationship actually got much worse. And in the beginning, when I heard this kind of stories, in my mind I was thinking, oh my God, like how could you do that? Thinking that it could help, and I was kind of judging people for that. I was quite angry with all those trainers who still, promote this kind of aversive methods, aversive tools, thinking that this is the only way to help the dogs. But again, my approach has changed, and I decided that judging won't help. Judging will just make everything worse, and only when we start with ourselves, we can spread the light, we can be the change which we wish to see in the world. So how many of you have thought, and please be honest with me, that this approach, using aversive methods, being the boss to your dog, is the only way to make your dog listen to you? Please be honest. I think we've all been there, right? Because of course, like, some years ago, we didn't have other tools. We didn't know, what else to do. So we felt kind of helpless. And again, that's why I decided to be more understanding towards people and just, be with them. Just be with them and, of course, offer them an alternative. So that missing piece has turned out to be the method which I came here to tell you about, which is Tellington TTouch. And this method has not only given me the tools which finally helped me get a deeper connection with animals, but also which helped me, look at people in a different way. It gave me this spark of spirituality, which I had been always looking for, really. And before, no other approach didn't give me that. It all seemed quite superficial, and only then, when I went to my first TTouch training, I felt that that's the method which I really want to follow and which I want to bring here to Poland to share it with you. So what is TTouch? For me, this question is quite difficult, because for me, this method is so deep, so complex, that it's not, and it has such a spiritual meaning for me that it's really hard to explain. But of course, I will do my best to tell you about it in a few sentences. So in a very short, TTouch consists of a few elements. The first one, which is a very important one, is a body work, which includes different kind of touches we do on the dog. And many people confuse this kind of work with massage, which is very different from what we do in TTouch. Because by using the gentle touches on the dog's body, we help build communication between the cells. We really remind them about the perfection, about the potential for working perfectly. And I know that it might sound quite mysterious, and that it's not very often that you hear this kind of approach to dogs. But I'm telling you, this touch, which is so different from massage, can do miracles. And the second element is different kind of equipment and body wraps. In other words, elastic bandage. And these elastic bandages we put on the dog in certain configurations in order to influence the posture, in order to give the dog a different feeling of its own body, in order to help the dog feel its body in this space, and also to relax. This kind of equipment works very well to relax the dog, to calm it down, and again to bring awareness, which many dogs miss. We also use double-ended leashes, like leashes which we attach to two points on the dog's body, to the harness, or to the harness and to the collar. And in this way, we are also able to help the dog get into the physical balance, which will then very probably influence its emotional state. Because we have to remember that it works exactly the same way in our case, that once we improve the dog's posture, the dog's physical balance, we can change the way the dog feels about itself. We can increase its self-confidence and the way it perceives the world. And the last, the last official element is a playground for higher learning. And this is kind of a playground. This is the best actually word for that, I would say, which consists of different surfaces, different elements like a ladder, like cones, different kind of boards, a labyrinth, which again helps to increase the dog's focus, concentration, which slows the dog's mind down, which will then, which then helps to influence the way the dog feels, and again influence, increase its self-confidence. And the dog really starts to pay attention to the world around it, instead of being, hyperactive and just being all around the room, it finally, we finally bring its focus down and we help it focus on whatever we're working on. And the last, one of my favorite elements of this work is philosophy. Yes, of course, this is the element which has changed my life, basically. Honestly, I'm not kidding, it has changed my life. And this philosophy is so different from what I learned before. So, as we say in TTouch, we do TTouch for the animal and not to the animal. What already says a lot about, a different approach which we present. So we look at the way the animal responds to whatever we do. We really respect the animal's feelings, emotions. We're really there for the animal to help it get through some challenging situation or through some traumas. And we also want to hold a positive picture of what a beautiful potential we see in that being. So we don't focus on how reactive, how aggressive, how fearful this dog is, but instead we try to see the beauty and these incredible potential which is in every single animal. So I want to, at the end of my presentation, I prepared some small exercise for you because today, unfortunately, I don't have enough time to tell you about all the tools, all those amazing tools which we and methods we use. But at least I want to give you some foundations which you can start with, and we will do some exercise together. So you will get a feeling what TTouch feels like, because for me it's very much about feeling. So how many of you have had a dog with aggressive or fearful behaviors? Quite many, right? What about some fears or hyperactivity? Right? Yeah, these are the behaviors which I come across quite often. And again, we talk about behaviors, not part of personality of the dog. So that's why this is the way I ask the question. So I didn't ask you who has a reactive dog or aggressive dog. Remember, it's only a behavior which we can change. So I have really good news for you, because your animals, your dogs, can hugely benefit from TTouch sessions. So yeah, I want to tell you a little bit more about how implementing TTouch has changed the way I work with dogs right now. So first of all, again, I started looking at every dog as an individual. So, I stopped going to sessions with some prepared formulas, thinking that it will work for every dog. This is how I used to do. And of course it didn't work, because I just had a plan which I prepared in advance, hoping that it has to work, because why not? So I started looking at every dog as an individual being with its own needs, desires, dreams, emotions, unique emotions. Besides, I started to be very empathetic. I stopped judging the behaviors. I discovered that there are no dogs which are lazy, which are stubborn, that's what I hear very often, and which are stupid. There's nothing like that. There are only dogs and animals in general, I would say, which haven't got enough empathy, understanding, which might be in pain or in physical imbalance. And this is what I encounter all the time, that these are the main reasons for the behaviors I see. And because of that, as I said, I also stopped judging people. So whenever I see a person who's grumpy, or rather has grumpy behaviors, or aggressive behaviors, this is much more difficult to learn. But I really pay attention to my mind, what it tells me about this kind of behaviors, and I really try to look at such people as if they were dogs. So it also helps me, get into this more empathetic mode, and try to understand that, wow, this person must have had maybe a difficult life, or a difficult situation, which most people just reacted back with aggression as well, too, because of course, if the person is grumpy to you, you react quite in a similar way. So I decided that I really want to be the change. I really wanted to be the change, also and also to give the example to others so they can follow my approach. And then when they see how I approach this kind of situations, this kind of people, this kind of animals, I really believe that they might change the way they behave. So I stopped forcing anything onto them. I just focus on myself, and then I can see how change is just, you know, just happening, basically. So yeah, so this is incredible. And yeah, so I have a small exercise for you today, which I called a grateful heart hack. And I hope that it sounds intriguing for you. And in the beginning, I will show you, like the first step I will show you with eyes open so you can see what it looks like. Maybe it will be easier for you, and then we will go through the whole exercise you know, step by step, okay, with the eyes closed, because it's much more effective, I must say. So what I want to ask you to do is to put preferably both of your hands in the middle of your chest, very nicely, and remember to be gentle. Remember, if you want to be the change you want to see in the world, and if you want to start with yourself, you have to accept yourself, you have to love yourself, you have to become the best friend to yourself. It has been like a breaking point in my life, and once I did it, oh my God, it's like I became so, you know, energetic, so like empowered, and that's why, and also, you know, it also means that I have to remember to be more gentle and more empathetic towards myself as well. So please be gentle in, you know, when doing this exercise. Oh, great. So when you have your hands on your chest, I ask you to imagine the face of a clock, which you just put off, you know, take off from the wall, and just put on your in the middle of your chest. And now imagine that here are the numbers, you know, which we normally see on the clock, on the face of the clock. So here we have 6 o'clock, here we have 9, 12, and 3. And that's the first step, just imagining it. And then I will ask you to move your skin slowly from starting at 6 o'clock towards 9, 12, 3, 6, and up to 9 o'clock. So in this way, we will do like a circle and a quarter. And again, we will do it quite, of course, gently and quite slowly as well. Okay, so now we can all close our eyes, because again, it will give you much more, yeah, a better feeling actually, and effectiveness if we do it this way. Perfect. So holding your hands, start by holding your hands in the middle of your chest. Again, imagine the face of the clock, and slowly start to move your skin up to 9 o'clock, 12, 3, 6, 9. Pause there. Take a deep breathe in through your nose and out through your pursed lips. And please smile. Oh my God, this is so important. Please smile. Oh, great. And now, please imagine one thing you're especially grateful for in your life. I'm sure there are much more, but please remember, just imagine one for now. And I'm sure you can't resist smiling right now. And please, don't resist, just do it. And breathe as well. And now, please imagine one thing you're grateful for in your dog, in an amazing life with you have with your dog. Or maybe what your dog has taught you, because I believe all the animals are incredible teachers to all of us, so please say thanks to that. Thanks for that. And now you can do one more hard hack, because this is this is what hard hack is. Starting at 6, 9, 12, 3, 6, 9, pause, take a breathe in, breathe out. Wonderful. And now, if you have your dog next to you, and you can open your eyes now, if it's possible. If not, then you know you can do it later at home. You can do 1 or 2 of these hard hacks on your dog's chest. So this way, you always remember to start with yourself and then with your dog. So in this way, it will also help you break the habit of reacting in the way that whenever your dog will do something what you don't like, and whenever you will want to react in a habitual way, meaning that you will want to punish your dog, say no, say shh, whatever, what you have done so far, I will ask you to try to change this habit and instead put your hands on your chest first, close your eyes, do 1, 2 hard hacks. If you have enough time, think about two things you're grateful for, or just 1, it will be great anyway. And then, if it's possible, do 1 or 2 hard hacks on your dog's chest. And in this way, you will build a completely new approach to whatever your dog does, and also to the way you react. It will help you to remind you that, okay, whatever I want to change in my life, in my talk, in my life, in whatever area I care about, I have to start with myself. For me, it was an amazing, it still is an amazing way of dealing with whatever I come across in my life. Hard hacks, these hard hacks really helped me to get through difficult situations, stressful situations. And they also help me remind me that I'm my best friend, and whatever happens, you know, I'm with myself and I will support myself, so I don't have to worry about anything. So not only it helped me calm down, not only it helped me, you know, like bring my emotions down and like become more aware of how I feel, it also helped me like enhance the friendship I have with myself. So in order, because I know how, you know, maybe some of you right now think that it's a great, you know, feeling I have right now, but I can imagine that, you know, if I just ask you, I hope that if I ask you to try it for another 7 days, you will do it. But in order to help you, I prepared some stickers, kind of stickers. They are actually papers with these simple steps, with instructions how to do grateful hard hacks. And if you can put these stickers in a visible place, preferably on the fridge, I don't know, if you probably all like eating, so fridge is a good place, otherwise you can just hang it whenever it's better for you. And please please do this exercise for another week at least, what will take you maybe 1 minute a day. And who has 1 minute a day for the dog you love? Of course, everyone, right? And why not give it a try? You know, maybe this will be a starting point. Maybe this will be the way you will finally start to change something. Because very often we expect, you know, something to change, but when we do things in the same way all the time, of course, nothing will change for better. So I really encourage you to give it a try and see how it works for you. And if you feel intrigued, then of course I invite you to join me on this journey and to take part in a workshop where we go much deeper into this work, where I will have a chance to introduce you to more tools, and hopefully this will change the relationship with your dog. So for now, if I can just ask you just to pass it on. I hope it's enough. All right. Yeah. And yeah, to sum it up, I hope you enjoy the feeling you just experienced, and I really hope that you will want to join me on my mission, basically, on my mission to change the world for better, because I really believe that once we change ourselves, we can influence so many people, much more than we think we can, because everyone has power. Everyone has, you know, has this power to do something, to make this world a better place. So I hope that you will, you know, follow my life motto, and maybe it will become your life motto as well, to be the change you wish to see in the world. Thank you very much.
Yay. Beautiful.
Oh,
Very
thank
nice.
you.
Much appreciation.
Oh.